Okay, this is the first evidence of any type of rock work in the area. You can see the height of the hill. You can see this side, and it's very, very obvious that some rock work has been done. Okay, this seems to be the trademark of this section, marked by telegraph poles. You see the amazing fact that galvanized wire is not rusted. It's pretty impressive. There's no evidence at all of any glass cincellators. We're in the section between Leeper and Nolalu. We're right near a river crossing, as you can hear the river in the background, and we will investigate that shortly. Okay, we're standing here in the middle of the Whitefish River. This is the crossing I just described in the last segment. It's very grown in right near the edge of the water, and we can see what's left, a part of the bridge. As we swing around, we look through the river. We can see that this is obviously a very rocky stretch of the river. See up there, we can see a little bit of a rapid. You can see the high cliff. If we turn our attention back over here into the brush, we can see the remains of the other side of the bridge. We're going to go over there and take a look. Okay, we made it to the other side of the river, and this is what's left of this bridge. See a drift pin there, right there, holding the bridge together. See some of the pilings, some of the woodwork that's left. We pan back this way, we can see, the camera will focus, what's left of that bridge on the other side. Okay, this is probably our first good example of any rock work along the line, of any substantial rock work, until we get to at least Iron Range Lake at least. You can see cut through the rock. The ground is solid bedrock. A bit of the cliff right behind me. If I pan back this way, see the cutting done. You can see the water sitting right on top. And if we move our way over here, this is probably one of the places where the railway engineers had to employ some sort of system to hold back the river. As we can see in our example here, the Whitefish River. This piece is probably badly eroded. Where I'm looking straight ahead is probably where the railway crossed across. So there had to be some method of holding back the river, some sort of bridging, some sort of diking to hold back the river. Okay, now as I stand, obviously knee-deep in the Whitefish River, we've come to one of the most interesting parts, or one of the most interesting locations on the railway. We are once again just east of Nolalu, And the reason for the interest in this section of the railway is because of this. The all concrete slabs base for this bridge. This is very remarkable to see these bridges, see these remains, the pilings of this bridge relatively in the middle of nowhere. For what reason this bridge was built, we aren't really sure. Why one concrete bridge in the middle of nowhere? Why one on the entire line when there was no other concrete bridges? It's obviously not a problem with the rail bed or the river. This is solid bedrock underneath. So there was no problems with the footing. But I guess it's somewhat of an enigma why this piece was built. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a little bit of a closer look at this piece. Okay, as we can see, this concrete slab is just incredibly massive. What we're going to do is we're going to hop up the back. We can see that, you know, Mother Nature has taken over a bit, but we can see the absolute length of this thing. And as I stand on top of it, looking down, it is just huge. And as we look across the river, we can see the abutment for the other side of the bridge. Just incredible. Truly remarkable. So what we're going to do now is we're going to hop across on the other side of the river. I'm going to get a look at the other bridge. Okay, now we're looking back east, back towards the abutment that we were already at. If you notice down here in the corner, we can see some old wooden works along the shoreline. Could this possibly have been the remains of a wooden bridge at one time? Can't be really sure. Most likelihood there was probably a wooden bridge over this structure, over this river at this point. And then it was replaced by this one. As we can see, we're right up close to this huge concrete pillar. Just going to switch to the wide angle for a second. Absolutely huge. Must have taken some effort to construct this bridge. We can see the huge length of it. Now we're going to hop on top to get a look from the top. Okay, so now we're on top of the bridge, looking along the length of it. It's very grown in here on the top, so it's a little bit difficult to see. And we can look across to the other side, see the other abutment hiding in the brush. We could see what might have been the remains of some work they did on the bridge, on the previous bridge, possibly on the first one. We can see the rock fill in the river to boost the level of the river. But who will know? Who will know why this bridge was built? Okay, we're just slightly west of the location of that bridge with a very interesting discovery of a steel rail. Our approximate location, just around the corner here, just out of our sight, is the concrete bridge. Now there's a second rail in the water, approximately down here, where the stick is sticking out of the water. We could just barely faintly make out the rail sticking out of the water. I tried to lift it out, but I could not. And these are light gauge rails used on this railway, but they're still 56 pound per yard, so they're still fairly heavy. As we pan our way back here, we see a spike that I pulled out of the water. As we turn our attention back to this rail. Now, I will try to get in as closely as possible. If we can read the writing, West Cumberland Steel. And I believe that says 1890. So it'll be interesting to find out, to see that rail at North Lake and to examine it to see what it says. If it's the same date or it's the same company. Okay, we're here west of Nolalu, roughly between Nolalu and Hillside. We're standing here on the old, well, we're not exactly on the rail bed. Rail bed's up that way. This is a prime example of the railway. This is a culvert. You can see the wood construction. Still in pretty good shape. I don't know if it would be the original one. Or whatnot. But it's rather interesting anyways. We're gonna go around to the other side and take a look. I happened to notice this quite by accident. As I was walking by. So it's a rather interesting and great find. Okay, so here we are west of Nolalu again. This is bridge over Small Creek. You can see what's left of it. All the pilings. All the wood on the ground. Another piling over there. Very elaborate.